Hello guys, this is What About Nintendo, and today I'm here to talk about 5 Nintendo IP that I think deserve better representation on the Nintendo Switch. So let's get right on into it. While we already have tons of great Nintendo IP on the Nintendo Switch, such as 2D and 3D Zelda, 2D and 3D Mario, Xenoblade Chronicles, Yoshi, Fire Emblem, Kirby, and many more, there are still some Nintendo franchises that don't have any new games, or any games at all on the Nintendo Switch. So here are 5 IPs that I think need representation, or better representation on the Nintendo Switch. Number 1. Mario Strikers. While there's been no shortage of Mario sports titles both on the Nintendo Switch and the 3DS, it's been a long time since one of those games was a Mario Strikers game. In fact, it's been over 12 years since we saw the last title back on the Wii in May of 2007 with Mario Strikers Charged. Mario Strikers is by far my favorite Mario sports series, and I played a lot of Strikers Charged back on the Wii. It was a really fun time with crazy over-the-top animations, great arenas that changed up the gameplay, and a strangely gritty and slightly violent feel to it, which I really enjoyed. It's just kind of funny seeing a Mario character punch somebody right in the face so hard they fly into an electric fence and get shocked. There's that weird juxtaposition with Mario characters being strangely violent and kind of really edgy in a way that I thought was pretty entertaining. And plus the gameplay itself was just absolutely top notch, super fun to play in my opinion. Most of the time I'm not too interested in Mario sports titles, but a new Mario Strikers would actually get me genuinely hyped. Number 2. Advance Wars. While we have Fire Emblem on the Nintendo Switch now, there's another strategy RPG IP Nintendo has at their disposal, specifically Advance Wars, or just generally the Wars series. This is another IP that hasn't gotten a game in a long time. It's been 11 years since the last game, Advance Wars Days of Ruin, was released for the DS in January of 2008. Despite the original game getting critical acclaim, and even being considered at the time by some outlets as one of the best games ever made, it never really sold that well, with the original being the best-selling game in the series at only 0.7 million copies sold. And Nintendo seems to be neglecting it in favor of the much more popular, nowadays anyways, Fire Emblem. However, Advance Wars differs from Fire Emblem in many ways, and it does have a cult following that would love to see it come back. Even if it's not as major of a release as, say, Fire Emblem Three Houses, it'd still be great to see a new title in the series on the Nintendo Switch. Or heck, even bringing the old titles to the Nintendo Switch I think would satisfy fans, at least for a little bit. Number 3. Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus Uprising was really not a game I think anybody was expecting. I mean, a new game from a series that has been dead for 26 years is kind of mind-blowing, but it happened and it was incredible. However, now it's been 7 years since that game, and nothing has come of the Kid Icarus IP, despite Uprising's critical acclaim and decent sales at 1.3 million units sold as of December 2017. Worse yet, Sakurai claims he has no intention of making a new game due to poor communication with the American-based studio he's working with, and suggests that perhaps somebody else could make a new game in another 20 years or so. Even if it takes a while for a brand new Kid Icarus game to be made, it would still be great to see a remake of Uprising for the Nintendo Switch. That game looks excellent on the 3DS and could be really stunning if remade in HD for the Nintendo Switch. But of course the real want is for somebody other than Sakurai to take up the Kid Icarus IP and make a brand new game. We know that series has a ton of potential, with Uprising being so good, and a new game would be great to see on the Nintendo Switch. Number 4. 2D Metroid. Although it's nice to have the original Metroid on NES and Super Metroid from the SNES on the Nintendo Switch via Nintendo Switch Online, we still don't have a new 2D Metroid game on the system. Back in 2017, we got Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, and despite decent critical acclaim, it sold rather poorly, barely getting over the 500,000 mark despite the huge install base of the 3DS. However, it did launch at a time where Switch hype was extremely high, and the 3DS had been seen as a system on life support that should hurry up and die already. And Metroid Prime 4 had just been announced the same E3 as well, so I wouldn't say the odds were really in that game's favor. I think a new 2D Metroid game made by the same developer Mercury Steam could actually sell really well on the Nintendo Switch and be a fantastic game that could help hold Metroid fans over till Metroid Prime 4's eventual release. Or heck, since Metroid Samus Returns didn't sell that well, maybe they can recoup some money by making an HD remaster of that game on the Nintendo Switch. It does hold up really well in 1080p if you slap that thing in an emulator, and would be a good chance for a lot of people to play that game since not many did. Number 5. Paper Mario. There's no doubt that Paper Mario is a series that isn't exactly consistent with the quality of its releases, but its highs are definitely high enough for me to consider it a great series. The original Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door are absolute masterpieces, and even Super Paper Mario and Color Splash are pretty great games in their own right. I think if Nintendo can gather the right development team, and actually go back to the roots of what made Paper Mario great, which for me is a mixture of a great RPG battle system with great characters and an interesting yet wacky story, I think Nintendo could actually make another great Paper Mario game. If nothing else, I'm definitely on the remake Thousand Year Door hype train, as that is one of my favorite games of all time. And maybe if that releases and sells well, Nintendo could make a new Paper Mario game that follows in its footsteps. One can dream, right? But anyways guys, those are the 5 Nintendo IP that I think need better representation, or even any representation at all, on the Nintendo Switch. But I'd love to hear what all you guys thought about my picks, as well as if you have any picks of your own, if you want any new Nintendo franchises to come back, or to get better representation on the Nintendo Switch, let me know down in the comments below. Also guys, enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell icon for notifications of all my videos for more Nintendo content from this channel. Also make sure to share this video with everyone you know who's a fan of these franchises and the Nintendo Switch. I'll see all you guys later on What About Nintendo. Bye!